Shizuka Matsuo and Mami Naito had a marathon match yesterday in their group. Of course, this is a Group B encounter. 2 Japanese pairs in this group, and they played each other yesterday. And it really was a marathon match, an hour and 8 minutes before Mizuki Fuji and Oreka Kakiwa eventually prevailed 21-10 in the deciding game. So for this Japanese pair that we're looking at the moment, it is a must-win situation. But it's a tall order because, of course, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, number 2 in the world rankings, Asian Games gold medalists, and of course winners of 2 Super Series titles this year. The first, the Malaysia Open, where they beat the now world champions, once in Xiao Li and Yu Yang in the final of that, and then one in Singapore as well. In contrast, the Japanese pair have never won a Super Series title. The best they've done was last year when they reached the final of the Denmark Open. But Ian, it's been absolutely fascinating, the development of Japanese women's doubles pairs over the last few years, since former Korean legend, but still a legend, Park Ju-dong, now coaching in Japan. He really has made a huge difference, and here we are, we have 4 Japanese pairs in the top 8 in the world.
Yes, they've got real depth at the moment, got a real crop of talent coming through, and a lot of them are very young as well. It's looking good for the future of Japanese badminton at the moment, you'd have to say. Some good young ladies singles players coming through as well.
Well, we were slightly worried yesterday about this young lady, Tian Qing, 25 years of age. So too is her partner, but we were concerned when World Championship silver medalists and Asian Games gold medalists from China were playing against the Danes, Christina Pedersen and Camilla Ruta-Yul. Had a little injury time out. She's got her right knee very heavily strapped. Applied more strapping yesterday. Partner's got her knee strapped as well. And she's a busy lady because, of course, she's in the mixed doubles as well. She and partner Zhang Nan, defending champions of the mixed doubles title at the Super Series finals. So the left-hander, as far as the 2 Japanese players are concerned, is Mami Naito, taller of the 2 athletes as well. Her partner, 25-year-old Shizuka Matsuo from Osaka. Super Series ranking of 5, having competed in all 12 Super Series events. And Japanese players in general have been great supporters of the Super Series.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of them, although only contracted, all the top players, to do a minimum of 10 tournaments, so an awful lot of the Japanese players have supported all 12 tournaments.
One of the positives of Japanese ladies doubles at the moment is the actual competition to qualify for these events. Very, very tight for them, the qualifying as to which pairs were going to qualify, and went to the last tournament. Last tournament was decisive as to which pairs qualified for the finals, and the qualifying for the Olympics will be just as tight, I think. So I think we'll be seeing them at all the Super Series up to the Olympics as well.
Yeah,
that's where the big points are available. That's where they'll be competing not only against the rest of the world but against each other.
So the number 2 seeds from China getting this Group B match underway. Yes, just picking up on the point you've just made, Ian. Of course, many people would have expected one of the top 2 Japanese pairs, former world number 2s, Maeda and Suetsuna, but they've been having a torrid time recently.
Yeah, they've had a real tough run of results. As I as I say, probably feeling the pressure of one or two younger pairs coming through below them as well. Had one or two bad draws through one or two of the younger Chinese pairs. They're really struggling at the moment. It's gradually sliding down the rankings.
It's landed in. Now this is actually the 5th meeting between these two pairs, previous 4. And this Japanese pair having actually recorded 1 victory over their opponents. And that was the first meeting between the two pairs. 3 games it was.
See a lot of urgency from the Japanese coaches. I think with Tian Qing's injury, they'll be looking for it to get through this game as quickly as they can. They'll want good concentration, good focus, and they'll be hoping for a 2-set victory, I think, on 2 counts, with Zhao Yunlei playing 2 events. She won't want too much court time. But also with the injury to Tian Qing, we're wanting her to have as much recovery time between matches as possible. And we can see there she was really hesitant on that lunge to the net. Yeah, good power from Naito there, following in.
Cord and apologises and changes the racket. String's gone. Just lucky to control that enough to get it over. Clever smash. Across the retreating player. I saw the space, just too big a swing really. Lost control of the length of the shuttle, hit way out the back of the court. Good interception from Naito. Quite noticeable though, Jill, here. There's real urgency from the Chinese pair. They're playing a very attacking style of play here. Just might be that will suit the Japanese pair. They like to play on the counter-attack, like to move the shuttle around in defence. Again, too strong from Naito in defence. Well out with the drift.
placement of the smash. Matsuo setting up on backhand defence. Tian Qing just spotting that and hitting across onto the forehand wing, forcing the error.
Change of pace, set up the rally from Zhao Yunlei.
Yeah, nice change of rhythm there. Set it up nicely for a partner.
Unbelievable. Incredible defensive play in the middle of that rally. But in no way was that a defensive rally. It was vying for the attack.
Well, of the four Japanese pairs, I feel these two have got the most attacking options, haven't they? Naito provides good power from the rear court. Matsuo's quite aggressive on the forecourt, which is not that common amongst the Japanese girls. She actually likes to have a go in there. But on that occasion, the Japanese defence was equal to it. That's an error.
Clever.
Nice shot.
Good rally.
Yeah, both defences are really strong at the moment. Very difficult to win the points from the rear of the court. It's really about trying to get your partner into play in the front court. Both defences look very solid. Could be in for a long game here at this rate. Yeah, not surprising. There's a little break after those two very, very intense rallies. That's a good angle. Sets the partner up. Nice play from the rear court from Naito. Good steep angle downwards, creating the interception opportunity for Matsuo. Fast flat exchange again. Signs that the Chinese pair are just a little bit frustrated at the moment, not getting through from the rear court.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know whether you saw that match at the All England, did you, when this Japanese pair beats this Chinese pair, and again it was the frustration that they were so desperately wanting to attack and they just couldn't get through, and they ran out of ideas, in all honesty.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, if there is a slight weakness in this Chinese pair, it is that they just lack a little bit of penetration from the rear court.
Oh, good serve.
Just once or twice this year we have seen them struggle in the bigger, slower halls.
Japanese players absolutely thrive on the long rallies, don't they? They love it. Defending, scrambling the shuttle back. I remember this pair playing semi-final of the Danish Open last year. It was a match, I think, that lasted an hour and 40 minutes. An hour and 41 minutes, and they still didn't even complete the match. They were only halfway through the third game. Playing against their compatriots. In fact, it was over an hour before the mid-game interval of the second game, so no doubting the fitness level of this Japanese pair.
Well, she knew where the space was, just failed to execute, pushed it out the side.
Good interception.
Yeah, better placement of the smash from the rear court, taking the pace off, concentrating on angle into the middle, tempting the Japanese to hit upwards. Zhao Yunlei stepping off for the interception for doubles. Yeah, good positive counter-attacking defence there. Stepping up the court, taking the shuttle early.
Oh, yeah. Dangerous play from Naito and Matsuo. Matsuo going for the cross court and leaving her partner very exposed to the straight push.
Ambitious. Ran out of patience really in the rear court.
And they don't, this Chinese pair don't seem to be able to set up the net player quite as well as their compatriots Wang Xiaoli and Yu Yang, who are forever involving the front court player within the rally.
It's quite unusual for a Chinese pair really, that they're really two front court specialists in many ways. There's no real power from the rear court, and normally the Chinese, they like to have one player with a little bit more power in the rear court, don't they?
Yeah.
In their combinations. This is a little bit unusual. They rely very heavily on the skill and mid-court to forecourt ability really. It's a nice change of pace.
Another good flick serve. Oh, big gap.
Yeah, good vision. Saw it. I don't know if you're going to see the replay, but she actually had a look before she hit this. Nice awareness. Yeah, just glances. Yeah, you see it there. Just glances over to look where her opponents are. She'd got the time, and she found the space. Nice shot. Nice shot. Good skill there.
It's incredible. I used to quite like that inside-out backhand defence, didn't I? Played that.
Yeah.
Mine didn't work quite as well as that, so.
As I said, this Japanese pair have actually got real potential to play a more expansive game than the traditional Japanese solid sort of defensive type style. The problem is there's one big weakness, and that is when Matsuo's in the rear court, Naito's not really a natural net player, and Matsuo hasn't got a lot of power from the rear court. And the better pairs tend to be able to work that combination and keep Matsuo working in the rear court.
Yeah.
And they're just not effective enough in that combination. When it's the other way around, with Naito at the back, Matsuo in the front court, they're good. And in defense, they've got some nice skills, but it's a glaring weakness, really. Again, good skill in defense from Matsuo. Again, Chinese pushing her into the rear court, and she makes the error.
And that error brings up 6 game points. umpire's just going to have a word with Zhao Yunlei and Tian Qing and say, don't indicate with the arms that you think the shuttle is long, because I think that was really very close on that back line. Well, convert on their first opportunity. And there's the opening game, 21-14. Minutes of play, some tough rallies, but better attacking play from the Chinese, and that's their reward. So Ian, whilst the Japanese pair do have incredible defences and they battle and battle, picking up on the point you made about it is a glaring weakness in that they have a set or favoured formation, and how do they win the rallies? They're not penetrating enough and putting enough pressure on opponents.
Yeah, I think when Naito's in the rear court, there is some penetration. She hits some good angles. She's left-handed, creates a little bit of variety. But the better pairs will just not let them get into that formation consistently. And that's when the problems occur. We can see the difference in stature between the two girls, and that's the difference in the power.
Yeah, Matsuo, only 157. That's about 5'1", isn't it? And that lack of height is obviously immediately a problem in doubles.
There's a lack of stature as well. She's not the strongest build. She's more of a skill-based game, and she is very skillful, as we saw there in defence a couple of times. Reads the game quite well in the front court. But as I say, against the better pairs, they'll be able to work around the rear court, and there's really not enough penetration. When the shuttle's coming onto her like that, good skill, quick feet to get out of the way, create the space for the swing, change the direction of the shuttle.
Just wide.
It is wide, but again, both the Chinese girls immediately putting their arms out. See it here, both of them. Just roll a little bit further. Yeah, there the arms go out. Don't like to see that.
No, me neither. That's well wide.
Yeah, and again, Naito's not really a natural front court player, is she? She prefers to be in the rear court. This Chinese pair, very aware of that, very conscious of what the stronger combination is, forcing Matsuo to the back. Naito at the front, big swings, not really reading the game at the front court.
Chinese pair were way out of formation. The Japanese couldn't capitalise.
no real need to go for the line there. Could have gone centre, could have only come back up.
That is superb, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of mixed skill coming out there. Very quick on to third shot.
Yeah, serve out wide for a start, and she was then hunting that push down her backhand side. Oh, it's going wide, but what a rally.
Yeah, all four players looking really solid in defence. Saying really both pairs should be playing a little bit more channel attack for me.
Yeah.
Trying to get their partners into the game in the forecourt. When the opportunities are coming to smash, they're tending to go for lines or go for body rather than going for the centre of the court to get the shuttle coming back up to their partner.
I think in general terms, that's a criticism I have of the Japanese women's doubles pairs in general.
Yeah.
Not enough channel attack. Target the individual players rather than work the rally to involve your partner.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, not many of them very natural front court players. What's been interesting in the last 12 months is Park's decided that more of them have got to start playing mixed to try and speed them up in that area. And suddenly Japan are playing with a lot of mixed pairs at Super Series level, which traditionally they haven't done. And I do feel that is to try and improve their ladies players' reactions around the front of the court.
Yeah, and that's the big difference, isn't it, when there's a player at the net and they really can put that pressure on. There. Oh, that must have been desperately close too. There's a run of 7 straight points. One wonders if it's the decisive move. So, 7-point advantage at the mid-game interval. other thing that I wonder, Ian, about the Japanese pair, they very much have their way of playing, and I don't know whether they are adaptable enough to suddenly change tactics and do something completely different.
Well, it was interesting, their coach, last couple of points there was definitely, you could see he was shadowing that he wants them to mix it up a bit more in defence and stop lifting so much. He wants them to try and step on and be a bit more aggressive in defence. From his body language there during that coaching break, it was about trying to press up a little bit in defence, use a bit more drive, blocks, but not the sort of high defensive lifts all the time. That's good shot, good awareness. Yeah, look well in control now. Got the measure of this Japanese pair. Again, going for a line, there was no real need. Again, I felt there was space in the centre of the court. Just wide. Yeah, that was the correct call. And looking straight down that line. And once again, the umpire saying, don't indicate with your arms, don't try and influence the line judges. Skill. Stepping in, turning the shuttle across the net. Saw the net player coming in straight. See Matsui there. If she's coming in straight, that means her partner's retreating. Therefore, there's space on the cross, and she found it beautifully. Clash of rackets, two Chinese players, but still managed to control it. And now a 10-point advantage. Again, there's no real need to go for such an acute angle and go for the line. They've worked the rally. Simple smash down the centre of the court would have probably got the reply up to Zhao Yunlei at the net. She could have finished it off. Yeah, seen that a lot of times in this match. They're winning quite comfortably. Made a lot of errors with that. When she is involved, when she does manage to intercept. One interception, follows it up with a kill. End of rally.
Definitely wants the racket up ready at the net, doesn't he? Pushed it long once again, despite being warned 3 or 4 times by the umpire. Tian Qing once again indicating with her arms. Yeah, you can just see that. Arms go out to indicate that it was out.
Missed it, saw the space again.
Far more decisive in this second game. World Championship silver medalists. A whole host of match points. This time they convert. 21-14, 21-8. A little wave to the crowd from Zhao Yunlei after the injury concerns yesterday with Tian Qing. They'll be very happy and very relieved that was a relatively comfortable victory. 39 minutes for 21-14, 21-8.